brutal military campaign between Russian forces and those of Nazi Germany and the Axis powers. During World War II, the battle is very reputable as one of the largest, longest, and bloodiest engagements in modern warfare. Russian forces were initially able to slow the Germans' advances during a series of brutal battles just north of Stalingrad. Stalin's forces lost more than 200,000 men. They successfully hauled off German soldiers. Understanding of Hitler's plans, the Russians had already shipped much of the stores of grain and cattle out of Stalingrad. However, the city's 400,000 plus residents were not evacuated, as the Russian leadership believed the residents would inspire troops. Launching its attack, Germany's air force had rendered the Volga River impassable to shipping and had sunk several Russian commercial vessels. In the process, from late August through the end of the assault, the Luftwaffe, or Germans, conducted dozens of airstrikes on the city.
Despite heavy casualties and the pounding delivered, Stalin instructed his forces into the city to not retreat, famously decreting an order to not step back. Those who surrendered would be subject to trial by military and face possible execution. With fewer than 20,000 troops in the city and less than 100 tanks, Stalin's generals finally began sending some reinforcements into the city and surrounding areas. Fighting raged in the streets of Stalingrad, with both sides using snipers poisoned on the roofs of the city's buildings. As Russia's brutal winter began, Soviet generals knew the Germans would be at a disadvantage, fighting in conditions to which they weren't accustomed. They began consolidating their positions around Stalingrad, choking off the German forces from vital supplies. But thanks to Russian gains in nearby fighting, they had lots and lots of advantages in this battle. At this point, German generals abandoned all efforts to relieve their exhausted forces trapped in Stalingrad. Still, Hitler refused to surrender, even as his men slowly starved and ran out of ammunition. By February 1943, Russian troops had retaken Stalingrad and captured nearly 100,000 German soldiers. Though pockets of resistance continued to fight in the city until early March, most captured soldiers died in Russian prison camps, either as a result of disease or starvation.
At Stalingrad was the first failure of the war to be publicly acknowledged by Hitler. It put Hitler and the Axis power on the defensive and boosted Russian confidence as it continued to do battle on the Eastern Front of World War II. In the end, many historians believe that the battle at Stalingrad marked a major turning point in the conflict. It was the beginning of the march toward victory for the Allied forces of Russia, Great Britain, France, and the United States. In February 2018, Russians gathered in what is known as the Volgograd to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the conclusion of the battle that had ravaged the city.